Yo, what's up guys? I'm Insanin, and today we're talking about the anime Texhnolyze, which aired in 2003. It was animated by Studio Madhouse and directed by Hiroshi Hamazaki, who you might know from directing Steins Gate and Shigarui, and written by Chiaki J. Konaka, who wrote the Cyberpunk classics Zero Experiments Lane and Armitage 3. It's an anime that falls under the genres of cyberpunk, surrealism, and psychological thriller. It's 22 episodes long, and I recommend going the subtitle route. However, a lot of people think the dub is pretty good too, and I'm going to leave a link in the description below for the trailer and opening song. Now, I've been on a little bit of an anime binge lately, and the one that stuck out to me the most has been this one, Texhnolyze. It just had me thinking. Like, after I watched it, I tried to do other things. Like, I was going to watch my next anime series, but I couldn't even focus on it or pay attention. I was still just thinking about Texhnolyze and everything that happened. It was almost like subconsciously contemplating what it meant and my experience while I was watching it. It's not something I'd recommend to a younger audience that's looking to go into anime for fun. It's more of a deep thinker, and it's kind of a slow burn, at least at first, but the finale and the climax is pretty dang exciting, and it is pretty action-packed. A spoiler-free setup of the story is that it takes place in this giant underground area that has this city called Lux. We kind of follow around a character named Ichise. I wouldn't say he's a protagonist, but he is the person we follow the most. However, there's plenty of other supporting characters and other people that I would say are kind of main characters that it focuses on throughout the story as well. And he unfortunately gets screwed over and has his limbs chopped off. And he gets taken in by this doctor who's doing experiments with technologization and advancements in that, where it basically connects mechanical body parts to people. So he gets his arm and his leg replaced with a mechanical arm and leg. And there's some strife within the city of Lux of these different factions and organizations, vying for power and all the different ideals they stand for. Ichise gets involved with these different factions and organizations, and it just goes. I wouldn't say there's a point. There's not a hard line story that it follows. You're kind of just witnessing the events that are taking place. It's not like there's a main objective at the beginning of the story and then it you're going towards that the whole way through. It's definitely a mystery. You don't really know what's going on, and you're visualizing it through the perspective of the characters going through, who also don't really know what's going on. It's just a dark, gritty, bloody tale. It's mainly slow. However, I'd say it picks up. There's almost no dialogue in the first episode, but it's surreal. And the series does pick up as you go along. I'd say each episode gets slightly quicker paced, but very, very slightly. And the second half is more fast paced than the first half, but it does pick up throughout the series. It made me think a lot afterwards. So if you guys like psychological anime in a cyberpunk setting that makes you think, I would definitely recommend this. Or if you liked the other works that were done by the director and writer I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I would check this out. And in the future, I might do a more in-depth analysis of the series. However, after I watched the interview, one of the questions that was asked to the producer is what were you trying to portray to people? And what was the point and the meaning behind stuff? Basically, he's trying to get answers, because it's a mystery story. And he said he accomplished his goal if people think about it on their own afterwards and what it means to them. It seemed like throughout the creative process of the series, it was very what was going on inside of the creators at the time. And it evolved throughout the story, based on how they were feeling and motivated throughout. It's an internal thing. I know that was not well said. But basically, he's accomplishing his mission as long as people like me and people that enjoy the anime think about it afterwards. What does it mean to you? That's what matters. Did he evoke certain thoughts or emotions out of you when you were going through with your experience. And my personal experience, I'd say I got sucked in like halfway through the second episode onward. I was just in it, and I was like just absorbed in what was going on. I can't even really describe like what I felt or like why. I just kept wanting to watch and pay attention and just, keep going with the story and these characters. But I did, it hit home. Another thing they mentioned in the interview is because of the real nature of the story, he wanted pain specifically to be felt. He almost like wanted the viewer to see and feel the pain that the characters are going through throughout the story and the different things that happens to them, which I did kind of get that vibe throughout. Some of the biggest things I got out of it is like all the different factions and organizations and sects that are trying to make their ideals come to light in the city is almost like an internal struggle for ourselves. Like whenever we have thoughts or emotions that contradict ourselves or go against what we think we should do versus what we want to do, and the internal struggle that has to do with that. I kind of related the City of Lux to that throughout the story. And the whole technolization part of it and the humans that go through it, where they have these cybernetic appendages and stuff. It really wasn't for the point of, getting behind the science of how that would happen. And to me, it more represented like a relationship you have and how you see things differently. And your life is different whenever new things come into it. And accomplishing things on your own versus accomplishing things with help and with others and what that purpose is going for. And maybe that wasn't well said either, but that's kind of what I got out of it. And like I said before, I was trying to watch my next series right afterwards, and I just like couldn't pay attention. I kept thinking about Texhnolyze. It's so cool. Unfortunately, it's not available on Blu-ray. I had to like go buy the DVD. So Funimation, please step your game up and give Texhnolyze a Blu-ray release. And the animation for its time, I'd say, is really good. It was in 2003 and done by Madhouse, and they always do good work. So definitely go check this out. If you're into any of those genres, cyberpunk, psychological thriller, surrealism, give it a shot. I like stuff like that. Go into it with an open mind. At the end of the day, it matters what it means to you, I think. Other people might get something different out of it than I did, and that was the creator's intent in the first place. If you guys did watch it, or you watched after this video, please comment on how you guys, like what you guys thought about it, how you felt about it. If it made you think as much as I did, or if it like messed you up a little bit afterwards and you couldn't really focus on other things because you were just thinking about it or not. Yeah, I'd love to hear. Definitely one of my favorite cyberpunk animes ever now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, as well as check out the podcast we do every weekend. And as always, stay Toa Heavy Tough. I'll see you next time. Peace.